We have all of that, the Lincoln Logs, all the stuff that you as a kid would use something to build with. We kind of have it all laying around the house for these guys to work with.
Because they need some way to get around. And
yeah,
and something the Eve Punks did it at Eve's place. They did the same thing. They rigged up ladders in places. They rigged
and
up
the
stairs
ropes
in
that Lewis and Carol set up.
And pulleys and things like that to get up and down the stairs. Because the stairs, admittedly, they could go up and down them, but it would be harder. So they actually rigged up a basket and pulleys to get up and down the stairs.
It's one of those things where we're kind of even more kind of, in a way, separating us from the Stitch Punks in a way, because it's not like they have to rely on us, because they really don't, and we don't want to set it up to where, you know, we bring them out of this emptiness where they've lived and survived for years, and then suddenly they have to rely on us 24/7, because they don't. The most that we do is we give them a home, and we just kind of take in what we have. Give it a home. That comes into play later.
Let's see, Christian and Seven.
Oh, God. Strong women. Let's just put it there.
They get along.
They get along.
That's about all I can really say. Well, they get along, and they also have this Seven does joke about 9 sometimes.
Yeah.
And so it becomes this
Girl
thing
talk.
where they both sit down on the sidelines and joke about their two derps.
Yeah.
Running around the table being dumb together.
Oh, yeah, like when Brad and 9 are working on his dirigible. It's always the planes. It's always the aviations. It's
Flyboys and their planes.
Flyboys. Yeah, that becomes a big thing after Eaton's crew comes into play.
Then let's see, Christian and 8 don't really talk that much, honestly.
Yeah,
and then Christian and 9.
Another Brad instant.
Yeah, it's one of those things where she's just like, he's one of Brad's buddies, and Christian doesn't mind, like, okay, most of the characters that have multiple relationships like this, I really don't mind. Christian honestly doesn't care, because it's one of those things where it's like, you're coming back to me in the end anyway, so, you know, and it's not like, you know, you're leaving me for this person. They're still, Christian and Brad are still together throughout the entire comic. They're always together. They never separate. There's no real breakups in this comic, except for maybe, you know, I guess you could consider 5 and Christian a breakup.
No,
it's not
really
like a breakup. It's just they just
because the relationships, it just kind of goes with it.
Yeah, they just drift apart. I mean, you know, 9 and Brad kind of drift apart. These things just kind of happen that they don't.
That keeps it just kind of goes.
But so, it's not anything that anyone has any major, like, there's no major fisticuffs over it.
Lewis is apparently green chili.
What? What are you talking? Green chili, really?
That's what this blanket is apparently clarified as.
Green chili.
Green
this is not
chili.
Like green chili at all. Anyway.
Green chili?
No. Anyway.
But no. P.R.O.S.A. Okay. This is where you guys are going to start loving 1. Because 1, particularly with Poe, the twins, and 6, there's always been this relationship that you don't really see, but you kind of pick up on it every now and then if you actually watch the movie. 1 likes kids. As so out of character as it sounds, he really does take to Poe and 6. And
I blame that thing that happened to him after he died. That's what
oh yeah, I blame that. But I mean, he just kind of, you know, he definitely doesn't mind them being around, and there are a couple instances.
As long as they're not being really goddamn annoying.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's these instances which we have songs for as well, where they interact, and you kind of get to see a little bit of that. But it's really friggin' adorable.
Poe in particular, though, when Poe first meets 1, if I'm not mistaken, she ended up following him around for a while.
She did,
and she called him Mister. I don't know why. Apparently, 1 looks
and
like
would
a Mister.
ask these questions.
So she would ask him all these questions and be like, Mister, 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 like, you know, like, Mister, why do you have this cape, Mister, all the time, and they kind of like, and while it was cute. And he didn't mind so much. It still drove him kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see, Poe and 2.
And of course, Tolstoy sitting on silence.
Poe and 2. Poe and 2. You know why I'm making this face.
Poe and 2. Yes. Yes.
Poe 2 teaches Poe how to do something. I don't know if I want to tell them what 2 teaches
Don't.
Well, anyway,
we gotta keep some surprise in this bit. 2
teaches Poe how to do something, and it's really adorable. And it's it has to do with everything being musical and things like that. It's just really fucking cute. I just gotta say that. Let's see. 3 and 4 are Poe's playmates. Oh my god, they're always playing tag or running around doing some derp thing, or And Poe was a really like a scaredy cat in the beginning. She's always been afraid of things, other people, and hiding behind people. And let's see here. What, we have an answer?
I want to be a psycho. Thank
nice
you, Death Sock.
But, sorry guys, we were checking the replies on this. But so Poe was kind of a fraidy cat, and being around 3 and 4 kind of drew her out and got her to play more. Poe and 5.
Oh my god, Poe and 5.
I guess another secondary
Any
daddy
of the relationships, any of the relationships with the canon characters and Poe is kind of really adorable. Poe and 8.
Oh, wait. We're not there yet. Poe and 5, it's kind of like a secondary daddy figure. She's not always around him, but when she is, she's kind of tag-alonging with him. 6, again, is another daddy figure for her.
Oh, definitely.
He's the biggest one. She's almost always with 6, and her and 6...
and Carol, yeah.
They just kind of get along. And I think it's because 6 is such a childlike in some ways that's one of the reasons why they just get along really well. And really, really, I am not some boisterous gesture that
I wouldn't take like one of her characters and dress them up in a jester outfit.
I know exactly who you should. 12.
Oh,
the engineer?
God,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I need to do this.
Saying
anyway,
that.
I think I'm going to do this.
Anyway. So, 6 is a major, like, father kind of figure to her. And they're all, as I said, because of the childlikeness of 6, they get along really well. And I think they understand each other on a baser level than a lot of the other characters understand each other. It's the same reason why she gets along a lot with Carol, I think. Now, Poe and 7, they don't really interact that much.
They really don't.
But when they do, it's just, it's kind of like how 7 interacts with the twins. Again, Mama 7. She's going to, kind of be a pat and, oh, you're a cute kid, and stuff like that. Poe and 8.
Poe and 8 are kind of freaking special because Poe is the smallest Stitch Punk that we have.
And for the longest time, 8 was the largest.
And 8 was the largest for the longest time. Yeah, so Poe loves to go and just kind of hang around.
Poe is about 5.5 inches tall. So to give you an idea, she's about she's the size of a Pepsi can. If you have any Pepsi cans around, or a soda can, she's that tall exactly. Because I actually measured this.
We'll find all this
of course,
stuff to measure
8. When I took a look at 8's rep sheets and stuff, he's actually about 10.5 inches tall. Yeah. So she's like half of his height.
Exactly. So now, 8 is anybody who is really kind of dug into watching the 9 movie and kind of picking up on things. I know there's an entire thread about it on the 9 forum. 8 is really, and if you've listened to the commentary, Shane Aker said it himself way after I had already characterized this guy in our role play. We find out 8 is really, really, really a big brother, and he's a very protective brother. And it's not just of one; it's of pretty much the whole crew. But he mostly listened to one. So in RagNBone, 8 and Poe loves.
First of all, 8 sort of becomes his own person aside. He's kind of able to step away from one. You kind of see him as his own character.
Yeah, which happens because of incidents. And Poe loves 8, and 8 always picks him up.
Of course, she was
terrified at
first because Poe is a scaredy cat. She's really afraid of new people. So when she first meets him, she's just kind of cranes back until she almost falls over because it's like looking straight up at this guy.
It's kind of like watching, if you guys remember the dinosaur story, We're Back, where Rex is kind of craning his neck to look up at all the buildings in New York City and he falls into the water. That's kind of how I imagine Poe just falling over. And so 8 takes to her, and Poe loves riding around on his shoulders a lot.
Yes.
And so it's kind of funny. I think it was actually an incident where 8's pretending to be an airplane and running around.
And that was the funniest thing, I think.
Cute. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a very big brother and a little baby sister kind of thing. Poe and 9
they're
kind of the same with 7. They don't too much interaction.
Not too much, but she also, like, you know, she likes Nine. Nine's not a bad guy, because, of course, Nine hangs around with Bradbury. So, you know, Sherry likes Bradbury. She hangs around with Bradbury everywhere, too. So, because Brad used to be one of her babysitters. That's actually one of the reasons why Sal won the contest, is because of the characterization of the two of them together was
that was
so
perfect. That was absolutely perfect.
So, like, she likes Brad and Nine, and she likes to hang around with them. She likes to hang around with Nine, but she just doesn't, it doesn't happen a lot, because she's usually with Six and the others. Okay, who else we got? Dickens. Dickens is kind of special.
Dickens is one, she just kind of shakes her head.
Yeah, when it comes to Dickens really doesn't like a lot of noise and doesn't like a lot of chaos, doesn't like a lot of commotion, so she's normally not on the table that much. She's usually back in the crafts room, because the crafts room is kind of her territory. She doesn't handle well with. She thinks people are really dumb sometimes. When everyone's running around and making noise and being loud for no damn good reason, in her opinion, she doesn't really want to be a part of it. And she likes things quieter. Now, with her interactions with different people in the canon cast, Dickens in one, Dickens just kind of shakes her head and carries on. It's kind of like, it keeps Hemingway busy, so why bother with it? Now, Dickens in one did have a little something that happened early on in the comic that was kind of sweet, but I can't remember what it was. It involved the chess pieces, which we're not really going to go into, but it did involve the pawn.
Yes, we have.
Are we going to talk about that? Or are we going to talk? No.
Not in great detail, but we have. If you guys remember watching the movie, in the church there is a chess set,
and a lot of people have characterized 1 and 2 playing chess.
Yeah, and this was actually kind of funny. This was when we first started coming into the fandom a little bit more. We were really amused how many people also made the same connection, where 1 and 2 play chess. And if you look in the movie, there's a chess set. 9 actually knocks a few pieces over, and so there is this entire, I guess it's an allegory of sorts. I think that's what you would call it. I'm the writer and I don't know this shit. But there's this big thing where with the canon cast entirely and chess pieces. And it really does come into play, and it kind of gives you an idea of how their relationships were kind of before the events of the movie and kind of in the start of RagNBone. And in particular, I remember when we're down in Wolf County and after those events take place, there's actually a whole thing that we have where the canon cast actually starts talking more. And they go and launch into this whole thing where before 9 came around.
They actually reminisce about some of the things
on all of these events that kind of happened before 9 came around, before even they noticed any machines were kind of still alive.
Well, not really. It was,
well, there was every so often that...
While they were waiting.
Yeah.
While they were trying to wait out
and
the
so
machines.
The chess pieces kind of came into play and then kind of got repeated. Now in the roleplay, you don't hear about it so much, but it's still there. And it's just kind of this whole thing that I love to death. And I remember for the longest time for StitchBunks.net, for the opening, we kind of wanted to have them associated with the chess pieces. And we have a chessboard on there even. So that whole thing, we can't go into too much detail because it'll kind of get rid of the whole "aw" kind of thing with it.
When it happens.
But you'll see. Don't worry.
Dickens in 2. 2 is like the father-in-law, I guess, for Dickens, because of the fact that
father-in-law.
5 and Dickens, 5 and Dickens are a couple, and they get along really well. She kind of sees him as an older version of 5. You know, it's just
Oh, look, Insane Alchemist. Anyway, keep going. Oh, God, Jesus Christ, another question.
Sweet.
Oh, yes. We can so do this. That's amazing.
Oh my God, insane.
You are amazing.
I freaking love you, dude. Oh, I have to do you such fan art for you. Oh my God.
We could actually take some of the role play and do this.
Yes.
Oh Jesus! We could actually do some of the beginning of RagNBone or somewhere in the role play and just kind of start up with this. This would be amazing. We could do that. Anyway, back to where we were because we're nowhere near done this question.
Okay, all right. Dickens. Where was I at? Dickens and 2. Okay, so Dickens and 2, it's kind of like a father-in-law type deal. They have a mutual respect for each other, and they... Sal!
Oh
we
God,
have to
I'm
let
scared.
Sal hear this so she can hear our
yeah.
comments about her
I'll update that in the blog.
Yeah, Sal just replied with, "Oh God, I'm scared.
Someone hold me." But anyway, let's go back. Where were we at?
2 and
Two, and Dickens.
Yeah, Dickens kind of sees 2 as sort of like, he's Bob's mentor.
Potato!
Potato's done!
And no, finish.